All right, I'm excited today because the bourbon gods have been smiling upon me. I managed to get a hold of the new Maker Special Release FAE-02. Today I'm going to do a tasting for you and compare it to the first release of the year, FAE-01. Let's get to it. So first, the new bottle, FAE-02. I haven't even cracked it open yet, just for you guys. Pretty similar proof to FAE-01. It's 109.1 proof. And according to the description on the back of the bottle, the FAE-01 is a more fruit forward, whereas 02 is texture forward. It's supposed to be a round, creamy mouth coating. Very excited. I'm all about a good mouthfeel. Let's dive right in. So let's crack this bad boy open. I've been looking for this bottle all over the place, and it finally hit St. Louis area today. I was super excited about that. Managed to snag bottle. So happy to share the experience with you all. And of course, the classic Maker's Mark wax. Okay. Let that open for a second. Okay. So color-wise, I'd say a medium darkness. Not quite as dark and rich as maybe like the Booker's that we tried last time. Still looks richer. It doesn't look super light, so nice tone to it. Let's have a smell. Okay, so not a super grab your attention nose. Subtle but not wimpy. Okay, so let me try and unlock what I'm smelling for you all. Definitely some spice in there, some oakiness. Yeah, heavy on the oak, not much on the fruit. Spice and oak so far is what I'm getting. Let's have a taste. Okay, so with the first sip, which your taste buds, your mouth is kind of getting warmed up to it. It's not the full accurate picture. First impressions, definitely spice, definitely oak. That was pretty accurate from the nose. It is pretty creamy. It's got kind of a caramely flavor to it. Definitely not as fruity as, say, the regular Maker's 46 or FAE-01 from my memory, but we'll test that in a minute. It's definitely got a spice to it. It is creamy, but it's spicy, so it's smooth but aggressive, we'll say. It starts off with a big burst of spice, and then it cools down and it ends nice and creamy. It does give me a little hug. It's 109 proof, which is comfortable to drink neat for me. I could see where you might want to add some ice to this one. Because of the spice, it adds a little bit more kick to it. It is very creamy though. It lives up to the description. Yeah, it truly does have a nice mouthfeel. It's very creamy, velvety. I like that. That's the 02. It really doesn't have a ton of fruit. Not super sweet. Just enough caramel sweetness, vanilla a little bit to take the edge off the oakiness. So it's a pretty good balance there. I would say the spice is pretty noticeable. It's kind of two dynamics, the spice and then the oak, which is balanced with vanilla and caramel pretty well. So those are the main things I'm getting out of it. Now, let's do a side-by-side of the 01. Okay, so we got FAE-01, and this one is just slightly higher proof. Comes in at 110.6. So 1.5 proof points higher, just a little different. This one is supposed to be more of a fruit-forward flavor, so we'll see. On this one, pretty similar tones. I'd say this one is a little bit more coppery colored, and this one is a light amber, light. So interesting, a little different there. Okay, so smell-wise, this is kind of a shy nose on this one, meaning I don't get a ton of fragrance right off the bat. It does suggest a little sweeter, maybe a little fruitier, so let's taste. Yeah, and truly, these truly do match the descriptions very well. This is much more of a fruit burst right off the bat. It's a little lighter, a little sweeter. It's interesting because this one doesn't have as much of the creamy mouthfeel like FAE-02 does, but this one also doesn't, the 01 doesn't have as much spice, so it doesn't really kick you in the face as much. There's a little bit of oak in there, but not nearly as much as the 02. Let's go back to the 02 here. Okay. Yeah, this one just is way more creamy with more of a spice burst to it. These are both really good. They're very different. So it just depends on your mood, what you're going for. I'm trying to think of when I would have one versus the other. The 02, I could see having more of a dessert, or you know, something that a food that you don't want to overpower with a bunch of. It does have some spice, so it's kind of an interesting pour, because usually if something is more creamy and smooth like that, you don't have as much of a spice burst. I'm thinking this reminds me of Buffalo Trace, where Buffalo Trace is just super creamy and smooth, but it doesn't have nearly a spice burst like this one does. This one, it is easy to drink. It's fruitier. It's not a wimpy pour, but it's not as full and rich like this one is. Both very good though in their own way. If I were to choose which one do I like better, dang. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stick with 01 in this case. I just like that fruity, light, upbeat flavor. This one is just a little bit more mellow, which, again, depending on my mood, I might go for this one over the 01, but I do like the fruity, bright tones of the 01 a little bit more. So, absolutely a solid buy. I got this one, the 02, for 54 bucks, which is a really good price. I would absolutely pay that for this bottle. I did see it one time earlier when I was up in Iowa a few weeks ago for 70 bucks, and that'd be pushing it for me on this one. I'd say I'm a price snob, if you didn't realize that already. So price matters to me. Under 65 bucks, absolutely go for it. 70 or higher, you really have to be a diehard Makers fan to make me pull the trigger on that. I'm not that diehard. I'd like 65 or under for this bottle. So best of luck finding it. Cheers to you guys, and you know what to do. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because you don't want to miss out on this stuff. Until next time, cheers.